Hi y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Amber's Apron. As you can see, I've already gotten started. Today's meal is going to be all at the stove, and I'm really excited. I know I say that in like every video that I'm really excited, but y'all, this is one of the South's most comforting dishes. I mean, it's like all in the South. I mean, if you've never had shrimp and grits, you're in for a treat. It's amazing, it's wonderful, it's life-changing, and it is one of the best comfort foods that I have ever had in my life. Anytime I'm sick, or even if like, especially if I'm traveling, because I do travel a lot, and we're at a good restaurant and they have shrimp and grits, it tastes like home. I mean, it really is. It's like a hug for your belly. You know, it's just a comfort food. And if you've never had it, stop what you're doing and join me. We're gonna cook it and it's amazing. But if you have had it, you know how comforting it is. I mean, grits alone. Grits are just, they're so good. I mean, they're just so, oh, how do you even describe a grit? I feel like my cousin Vinny right now. Grits are just so, it's just warm and luxurious, and it's comfort food. But when you throw in that spicy shrimp, oh y'all, life-changing. I can't even. So I'm gonna get started. What I've already done, which you didn't see this, I've already fried up a little bit of bacon in my cast iron skillet because I need the grease. In the South, we use bacon grease. Like, we save it and use it. I have a little tub in my refrigerator now with a red lid on it, and it's bacon grease. So if you're new to the South, you're gonna learn. You save your bacon grease. So I fried up some bacon grease, or some bacon, so I could have the grease, because these aren't just any old grits. I'm not just boiling some water and throwing my grits in and that's what we're gonna have. Nay. We are having grits with roasted corn, some creamy cheese. Y'all, this shrimp and grits, it's gonna be amazing. Oh, I make this a lot for my family for dinner. But y'all, I started a little tradition, and I didn't get to do it last year because COVID kind of wrecked everything. Y'all knew I was gonna make a mess. But I started having this little Christmas brunch, usually the week either before Christmas or right after. And I have all the women in my family over, and I make like girlfriend punch, and I just have brunch food like chicken and waffles and shrimp and grits and biscuits and gravy, and it's a good time. We all come together, they all come over to my house, and we eat and visit, and it's just, you know, it's like what the holidays are for. Christmas sometimes gets to be just chaotic, especially with us. You know, I've got 2 kids, and actually we have 3 kids combined, and my oldest, sometimes we have to do, or not my oldest, my husband's oldest, the oldest, we usually have to do Christmas at a different time because he lives in a totally different part of the state, and you know, it's just, Christmas is chaotic and rushed. And so for us to have that little girlfriend time, it's just nice. But I love to make shrimp and grits for that. I love to do shrimp and grits for brunch. And I don't think they mind eating it at all. They sure did eat it last time. But y'all, I love me some shrimp and grits. Love it. Love, 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 love it. It really is like a hug. Which, y'all, you probably think I'm a huggy person. Like, I'm bubbly. And I really am. Like, I am bubbly. I am happy. This is not an act. This is me. But y'all, I'm not a hugger. I say I'm not a hugger. It doesn't mean I don't like hugs. Hugs are not my thing. I'm just dancing around this whole topic. I've never been a huggy person. So I've never been one to just hug people, or, oh my goodness, I've not seen you in forever. Come on in here, give me a hug. That's not me. I've never been like that. And when people go to try to hug me, I'm very awkward. Like, it's not that I don't want to hug. I don't know how to do it. So I don't know if you've seen Step Brothers, but at the end when they go to hug, it's weird. That is me, 100%. My husband will tell you that's me. And I don't know what my problem is. I don't know why I'm so weird. But y'all, I have, oh golly, I'm gonna tell them myself. One time I almost kissed a sales rep on the mouth because I turned my face the wrong way. I mean, I know that sounds like so dumb. How do you turn your face the wrong way? He went to hug me and I went to hug him, and I don't know how it happened, but it's like he was hugging me and our face like went the same way, and we somehow went cheek to cheek like we were gonna tango. Y'all, I am not making this up. This really happened. And everybody watching it was like, what was that? I don't know. I'm not a hugger. I'm just not good at hugs. I don't know what's wrong with me. It's the weirdest thing. I will tell you that. I'll give you that. It's quite odd. And I don't mean for it to be, but man. So anyway, as I told y'all that mortifying story, I cooked me up some, look at that. Oh! Okay, so I took some frozen sweet corn, cooked it in my bacon grease, and I got a little, I don't want to say like burnt places on here, but some of that's where the bacon, like kind of the fat kind of came off and left a little meat in the skillet. And some of it just kind of, it's like roasted on the corn, and it's so good. This is going to change, like this is a game changer for your grits. So I'm just going to set that to the side. I'm going to grab my pot, and y'all, I'm using 2 cups of chicken stock, which I really like this kind. I don't know if you've tried this or not. I think you can get it anywhere. I bought it at Walmart, Food City, Publix. I really like this, and occasionally, if you're paying attention, Publix will put it on sale. I think Food City will too, but you know, Walmart really doesn't, ever. But anyway, so I'm putting 2 cups of my chicken stock in here. Good gracious, I'm making a mess. And I'm gonna do 2 cups of heavy cream also, because I want these grits, I want them to be comforting. I want them to be a hug. A non-awkward Amber hug. Like, actually, it's become a joke. Like, anytime something bad happens, especially to somebody I don't see often, I'll actually, like, if it pops up on Facebook, I'll say, you know, hey, sending you the most non-Amber awkward hug ever. Because, y'all, it's embarrassing. It really is. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know why. I don't know why I can't hug. And it's not like my parents didn't love me. It's nothing like that. Oh, Lord. Y'all, I just, I don't know what it was. Don't know what happened to me as a child for me not to know how to hug people. Oh, I got another story. Y'all, well, Lord, pull up a seat and just sit right down while we talk about this. I'm going to tell you all my secrets. One time, we actually had a potential customer. Let's put it that way. We had a potential customer coming for a visit where I work, and he came and he was at the place I work. He was there all day, and then my boss and we took him for dinner, and then he stayed at the hotel beside the airport so he could catch his flight out the next morning. So we took him to the hotel after dinner, and y'all, he went to hug me. Now, this man was not a tall man. No. He was probably 6'2", maybe 6 foot. So he wasn't short, but he wasn't tall. Definitely wasn't tall. I may be wrong. He may have been more like 5'9". But anyway, he was not a tall man. He was taller than I am. And he went to hug me, and my boss my boss is watching from the car, and I was like thanking him for coming to visit, you know, all that. And he went to hug me, and when he did, I don't know how, somehow I ended up putting my head on his chest. On his chest. How do you do that? How do you do that in the first place? But it's not like this man was a giant. I mean, he was barely taller than I am. And it was so weird. And I didn't know what to say, because, I mean, you know, when you are in a weird moment, you know you're in a weird moment. And you just try to act like, oh, it's not weird. Oh, it was so weird. And so I didn't really know what to say. I just, you know, hugged him like, thanks, have a great day. And I got in the car with my boss, and I went, I'm not good at hugs. And he goes, yeah, that was weird. Yeah, that was weird. Yeah, it was. Thanks for saving me. And we didn't get his business. He never became a real customer. He never became a customer. My hug lost that business. Oh, I don't know. And I've really tried. Even some of my friends, they'll be like, we're coming in for a hug. I'm like, okay, you got to let me know. And then it's like I have to watch. How are they going to turn their face? Like, they're coming in for a hug. Like, so embarrassing. Gosh, I'm a moron. What I'm doing now is I poured in my chicken stock and my heavy cream. And I'm just going to bring it up to kind of a boil. I don't want to like scald my milk and have it kind of curdle or get that weird film in it. So I've got it on 5. This is gas. Like this is a medium flame. So once I see it kind of start to bubble around the edges, I'll actually cut it down, and then I'll add my grits. And y'all, I'm using real grits. I know a lot of people use cornmeal, which I have before, but this is what we use, you know, for breakfast or whatever, and I just keep it. You don't use a lot, so this lasts, I don't know when I bought it. Cooks in 20 minutes or less, so just some regular old-fashioned grits. I don't use the quick grits. I like the old-fashioned kind. I'm an old-fashioned kind of girl. With my hugs. That's why I don't know how to hug. I'm old-fashioned. Oh my goodness. I don't know what inspired me to tell you my missives. Oh, I hope I'm not the only one in the world that has made you just don't know how many people I've hugged the wrong way. Like, it's become a joke. It's become a joke. Even at church, like, you know, so here's the thing. Oh, Lord, here's another one of my sins. Growing up, you know, you go to those little country churches and they have the choir. Everybody goes up to the choir, and then after the choir, they all come down and they want you to go around and shake each other's hand. Y'all, I don't like shaking hands either. And I'm not weird. Like, I don't care to be touched. I just don't, I don't like to be manhandled. I'm shy. And so when I grew up and I went to one of those churches, and y'all, I didn't really sing in the choir, so I would sit on the pew. And when they would come down, I would go to the bathroom so I didn't have to shake anybody's hand or get hugged. Oh no, I shouldn't admit that. Oh my goodness. But I would. And honestly, our church doesn't do that now, especially with COVID. You know, some good things come out of bad. But at most, our pastor will be like, you know, hey, fist bump somebody on your way to your seat or whatever. Nothing elaborate. Definitely no hugging of people. Don't hug anybody. I just don't know what's wrong with me. And you would think, I guess that's what throws people off, because I have that personality. You know, I'm like, you know, and I've talked to you guys about it. I've told you, you know, I'm the house that people come to, you know, come on in, y'all take your shoes off, pull up a seat, you know, and I'm like welcoming, but not good with hugs or shaking of the hands Or sometimes, have y'all ever seen, I know there's like a whole video on it on the internet, but like people try to like high five each other and they miss, or somebody like high fives while the other person like fist bumps, and have y'all seen that? That's me. That's typical Amber right there. Good Lord. I should quit talking. I need to just start making videos where I don't talk, and it's like I just, charades. Like cooking charades. That's what I should do, and just not talk. Not tell y'all my stories. Because y'all, I got some stories. So this is getting warm. What I'm going to do now, I'm adding a cup of grits. Y'all, I don't know. I know I'm like preaching the choir if you're from the South. I can't even get it to stick. This is grits. Y'all see that? It's not, it's like a little speck of something. And basically, I think, I might be wrong, but I think it's made out of corn. Somehow it's like a stone ground kernel of corn or something like that. And y'all know I eyeball everything. I don't know if I added a full cup. That's probably more like a cup and a quarter, but that's all I had. I'm just going to kill it. I'm going to kill it. So it's kind of like the idea of either rice or oatmeal. It's a small like speck, and it's real dry and kind of coarse, and then when you add it to hot liquid, a lot of people use water, which is fine, but this, I want it to be like a hug, like a comforting hug. So I'm using chicken stock and heavy cream, and it's going to absorb that moisture. It's going to get kind of fluffy, not like couscous, but it's going to bulk up. So, excuse me, 1 cup of grits is too much for my family of 4, but I'm all right with having leftovers, because y'all, it's going to be delicious. So all I'm doing is I'm whisking in my grits, which, y'all, it's like, how do I want to describe grits? I mean, you saw what it looks like. It's like little bitty specks of stuff. So if you put it in here and you just kind of stir it, you don't whisk it, sometimes all those little specks will make like a ball, and it'll cook in like a ball. And then when you pour it out or you get a spoonful of it to eat, you bite into it expecting like creamy, salty, buttery, and it's like dry. It's like a wad of wet grits on the outside and dry on the inside, and it's not good. So always whisk your grits. Always. Okay, so these are going to cook for about 10 minutes. And y'all can see I'm just whisking it. See that steam coming up? I cut it down, but I want to make sure it's not going to boil on me. I don't want them to boil, especially because the grits are in there now, and they'll stick to the bottom. And that's like, you don't want that, because they'll burn, and then they won't be. It'll be an Amber hug and not a Southern hug. Maybe that's what's wrong with me. It's not a Southern hug. And I feel bad. I've got kids, and it's never normal. It's just never normal. I don't know what's wrong with me. But y'all, it could be because my oldest son, he is all about some hugs. I hear something. Y'all, I hear something. You know what it sounds like? It sounds like FedEx. And I know that's an ongoing joke with a lot of my friends, because I had a problem with Amazon. Now, if Amazon was a person, I'd hug it. I had a problem, and FedEx and UPS, they were coming pretty much every day. Like, it got to the point where my dog is friends with the UPS man, and she will actually climb up in his truck and get treats now. That's how bad it got. And my husband was like, Amber. So I don't order from Amazon much anymore. And when I do, I have it shipped to my friend's house. Well, I might as well call this confessions. Call me Usher. These are my confessions. Oh, Lord. I might not post this one on YouTube. This is bad. I'm giving all my secrets away. But women know. We know, y'all. Women are not dumb at all. And we know there's always a loophole every time. There's always a loophole in everything. And y'all, so I told y'all these are buttery and salty. I'm not going to salt them because I might at the very end. It just depends. But I'm not going to up front. All the flavors that I'm adding, it's going to be perfect. But I am going to add me some butter. Now the butter is not only going to flavor it, but it's going to add a little bit of creaminess to it. And if you don't do anything else that I'm doing today, if you only make grits because I have spoken so eloquently about them, add butter every time. Every time. It's just so good. And it just, like I talked about, it adds a step to a flavor. This is a perfect example of how I season everything. This is, oh, I didn't even think about that. This is a perfect example. I've got the grits. Most people, when they have shrimp and grits, you get an actual like bowl of grits. But not today. We're having a bowl of grits with cheese and corn. Oh, and then we're going to have that shrimp. It's going to be kind of spicy. It's going to be creamy because I have whipping cream in the shrimp. Oh my goodness, y'all, it's going to be so good. So anyway, if you don't listen to anything else I've said today, whisk and add butter to your grits. And when I've changed your life by that, you can thank me later because it's so good. Now, I don't know if y'all can see, like, it's getting a little thick. See that? I told y'all them grits were going to puff up. It's like they've been to the gym. They got all buff. They're all buff now. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to add my corn. I am pretty confident that there's no weird crusty ball of dried grits in there, so I'm not going to whisk them anymore. But I am going to add my corn. And y'all, if you've ever cooked with cast iron, you know that these pans get hot and they stay hot. I need to kind of do it towards you, don't I, so you can see it. Look at all that. Oh, goodness. So see, there's not like tons of grease I'm dumping in here either. That corn kind of cooked in it, and just going to set that to the side. And y'all, I'm just going to stir in the corn. Oh my goodness. Look at this. Oh, y'all, I'm going to bring this over and show it to you. Oh my goodness. This is hot too. Can y'all see? I don't know if y'all can see this. Can y'all see that? I've got my corn, and it looked like a lot of corn, but there's not a ton of corn in here because of the amount of grits. Did y'all see that too? Did y'all pay attention to that? Look how it puffed up. It was a cup of grits, and look at all this. We're gonna have leftovers. And shrimp and grits leftover is not a bad thing at all, ever. So now I'm gonna add in my cheese. I've got my Colby-Jack cheese. I shredded a little over half a block. It calls for 3/4 of a cup, but sometimes I do more, sometimes I do less. I'm adding some, and then I'm going to stir it up. And I just really want to see what it looks like. If it looks, you know, it doesn't, you don't want it to be like pizza. You don't want it to be super cheesy, but you want that cheese to kind of add the hug. That's the only way I can describe it. And since I don't know how to hug, obviously. Oh yeah. Okay, now see, watch this. I don't know if you can see it. See that cheese in there? That's what I want. So I'm not going to add any more. That's perfect. You know, it's not like we're going for a cheese pull. So now that that's done, I'm actually going to turn my eye off. That is hot, 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 hot. I'm going to slide that over. Add my eye. Okay, now I'm going to put this on low and just let it sit there on low. And I'm going to keep it stirred a little here, a little there. And y'all, I'm going to get started on the shrimp. This is cast iron, so I'm not going to turn it up too high because that's a hot skillet. It's a very hot skillet. So y'all, I'm gonna throw in butter, because this is the South. We like our butter. And if you noticed, I didn't even rake out my bacon grease, because it's fine. It's just another step of flavor, and there wasn't a lot in there. Like a little bit of residue, nothing much. And y'all, I don't know if you can see this. I've already cleaned my shrimp. Like I was ahead on that. And I also chopped so the recipe calls for shallots. Sometimes it's hard to find shallots in the grocery store. So when it is, I chop up an onion very finely, and I don't use a lot of it because shallots are small. So they have a milder onion flavor. So this is a Vidalia onion because this is the South and that's what we use. And I've only cut just a little bit off my onion, and I diced it up pretty small because I do want the onion flavor. It'll be a little stronger than the shallot, but it's fine. It keeps you from having to go to 2 and 3 different grocery stores. Now I took a clove of garlic, and you know, I ran it through my little garlic press, and I put it in there with my onion. And y'all, I don't want it to, you know, like turn golden or brown, because I'm not just cooking this. Like, I'm going to continue to cook. So I'm cooking it on low. I just want to saute it. I want my butter to kind of take on that onion garlicky flavor. And then I'm going to add do y'all wonder what I'm doing with this? Especially when I have a full skillet, instead of having to like stir it, I want to kind of keep everything level. So I scoot it back and forth. I do that a lot. I don't know why. It makes me feel fancy, I guess. But I'm just kind of sauteing that. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to pecking. I'm going to add my shrimp. Now shrimp is something you kind of have to cook in batches. You don't want to get your skillet too crowded, because then, you know, it's kind of going to create steam and get kind of moisture, and then you're going to be boiling shrimp, and you don't want that. You want to saute the shrimp. And y'all can see me, I'm just kind of moving these onions and garlic around with my shrimp. I feel like Forrest Gump now, shrimp soup. Y'all, do you love shrimp? That's like one of my favorite things. I love seafood, really. When we went to the beach, that was like, I ate everything. Y'all, I think, so if y'all go to Destin, or even if y'all go to Fort Walton or anywhere down near that, there's a pizza joint. I believe it's called Merlin's. It's on, I don't know the road. Off the main road. And that's so helpful, I know. They have this pizza. It's called seafood pizza. And y'all, I can't find my tongs. What to do with my tongs? They're with my bacon. It was called seafood pizza. And y'all, the base of it, so it was like a normal pizza crust, but it was very crusty. It was like, definitely like hand tossed. So it was sturdy, right? The base, instead of it having a red sauce, was Alfredo sauce. Then it was topped with shrimp, crab, and I mean like Gulf shrimp, like the big shrimp, crab, scallops. I think it had a little bit of onion, and then the cheese they used, mozzarella and provolone, and then like sprinkled just some Italian seasoning over it. Y'all, that pizza, I still think about that pizza. It's worth the 8-hour trip to Destin just to eat that pizza again. So that should be on your bucket list. If you're looking for like, you know, a bucket list of food I've heard is good, pretty sure it's Merlin's. Seafood pizza. Just Google seafood pizza in Destin, Florida. Holy cow. So stinking good. So I'm just putting my shrimp in here, and I don't know if y'all can hear it sizzling. It kind of sizzles. I'm not cooking it on very high because I've got the onions and the garlic in there. And I'm just flipping it because I want it to cook on both sides. You know what I am going to do? I don't want this to cook too much. So I am going to get a bowl and put this in. Kind of rake it out because I have to do several. I'll probably have to do 2 more little helpings of this shrimp to get it all cooked. That is so stinking hot. Can y'all see that? See my shrimp in there and my onions? And I know it looks like a pan full of onions right now, but once I get all this shrimp in there, it won't be. It'll be outnumbered. The shrimp to onion ratio will be delicious. Now y'all, I said I was going to get a bowl. Don't look at my cabinets. Don't look, I keep my bowls up here in the stack. These are, you know, those old timey, these are actually, these bowls, they don't even have a name. They do, oh, it says Korea. These are my mother-in-law's bowls, my mother-in-law's mixing bowls. I love it. When she passed away, I got those, and I love those. I use them. Y'all have seen them. I've used them in like all my videos. Oh, yeah. So this is how you want your shrimp. See how it's kind of, you know, orange on both sides? Pink. You want it pink on both sides? I'm not cooking it all the way. I just dropped my rag, and y'all, I didn't know what that was. It scared me. I don't want them cooked all the way because they're actually going to keep cooking a little bit in the skillet. Y'all, this is so hot. Holy cow, let me turn this off. And I'm going to rake out the onions. I wish y'all could see. Yeah, honestly, I don't have a good setup here. And I'm sorry. I couldn't figure out a good way to set it up to where y'all could see it. I'm going to bring this over there. Can y'all see that? See how I've got my shrimp? It's pink. It's not like super done, but it's definitely not raw. I'm gonna let it sit to the side because I gotta add more shrimp in, which means I get to add more butter. And turn my eye back on. I don't know, do y'all have gas ovens? I love cooking with gas, but then again, y'all, I almost burned my house down. Oh my goodness. The adventures of blonde women as they cook. So here's what happened. I have a noodle board. Do y'all know what a noodle board is? It's a big old wooden, like, I don't want to say platter, but it's like a big old wooden tray with handles, and you put it over your stove, and you can use it for, you know, when I have people over, I put it down, and then we have this area as like a table, so I can put, you know, if we order pizza, I can put all my pizzas here or whatever. Gives me more storage in the kitchen. And it's called noodle boards, and it's a big deal on Etsy. They're real expensive, and they make them, and then they paint, like I have a big W painted on it, and established 2013 is what it says. And y'all, one day I had people over, and I had made, I think it was lasagna, and I made these cupcakes and lemonade, and we just had like a good little visit. And what did I have on the stove? It must not have been lasagna. Maybe it was spaghetti. Somehow I had my eye on low, and I do that. When I have people over, I will leave the food normally, like unless it's a fancy party, like brunch, girlfriend brunch, I don't. But you know, if it's just like a little coming for lunch or whatever, which this day they were coming for lunch. Lord, get on with the story, Amber. I had my food in the skillet, and I had it, my eye on low. And when it's on low, it's kind of hard to notice. Like, you just can't feel it. So anyway, we had lunch. Everybody had eaten. We had eaten our cupcakes. We'd gone outside. Like, we had just had a good little visit. And after we ate, I had put my noodle board back on my stove to be, you know, cute, a decoration. And we had been outside. We came back in and smells like something got hot. And I was kind of over by my TV and I thought, oh, these electrical cords, something's gotten hot. And I was telling my husband, I was like, it's over, which here's my stove, obviously right here. But I was over there and I could smell it. And I was like, something's burning. Thank goodness my cousin at least had the common sense. She walked over here and she goes, is that eye supposed to be on? I had left this eye on with my noodle board. So on my noodle board, if you look on the underside of it, there's a big old black spot. I caught it on fire. But you know, we were not paying any attention. Like, people had eaten. You just don't know what all we did that day. Like, we had eaten our food, eaten dessert, sat around talking, just had ourselves a day. And silly me. Good gracious. So, gas. I like to cook with gas, but I've almost burnt the house on, or caught the house on fire. So, you do you, boo. But then again, I say that. I had one of those, you know, the glass top stoves that get like crazy hot, like me at the beach hot. And y'all, I caught macaroni and cheese on fire, and not even in the skillet, like the sauce packet. I caught it on fire because the whole thing heats up. So you might be cooking with one eye, but the whole top, the whole glass top gets hot. And I had been like boiling my water, like let's say I was boiling my water here, and I had, you know, cooked something else on this side. So I wasn't using this eye, so I put my sauce packet here. Y'all, it got on fire. It like messed up the stove. It was bad. So maybe it's just me. Maybe it's not my, it's not my skillet. Good gracious. All I'm doing is cooking my shrimp and talking, flapping my jaws. I'm embarrassing, I know. My kids, bless their hearts. Pray for them. Pray for my children. Y'all, look at these grits now. Look at that. Oh, that's gonna be so good. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Can you tell how creamy that is? Mmm. Oh my goodness, it's gonna be so good. Oh my goodness. Y'all, I love shrimp. I think I told you that already. I love seafood, but man, I could just eat me some shrimp. That's one thing I cook a lot of. I cook a lot of shrimp. I do a lot of salmon. I do not a lot of scallops, but I do, sometimes I'll do, like we pretend to be rich sometimes, and I'll get like crab legs and clams and mussels, and I'll do like a big, I don't want to say like a shrimp bowl, because I do shrimp bowls a lot, but you really just need shrimp and sausage and corn. Like, oh, shrimp bowls are so good. But when we get fancy, like Applebee's, you know that song? Have y'all heard that song? My son loves that song. I'll do crab legs and mussels and shrimp, and oh, we'll just sit at the table, and I'll put everything in a big old, like a 9x13 pan, and we'll sit at the table and just eat all that seafood. It's so good. So good. I love it. Okay, so I've cooked all my shrimp. I've turned the eye off because this sucker's hot. Now I'm going to add in, I know this sounds weird, it's called anchovy paste, as I drop my lid. And it is actually, so I don't use a lot. I have a quarter teaspoon, not tablespoon. But it adds just something, and I'm not even using this whole teaspoon. I'm just going to put that in there. Because like I said, I like to have depth in my food. And that's what I'm doing. So I've got that going. Now I'm going to add my shrimp back in. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Hold on. Hold the phone. I'm going to stir that in there just a little bit. And then I've got Cajun seasoning. Did y'all see that? I got my spices in these little magnetic, I don't know what they're called, jars, tins. Normally the lids open better. And I'm just going to add me some Cajun seasoning in there. I'm not going to waste my time trying to season every little shrimp. I am going to add a little bit more butter, because I want to, oh yeah, there we go. I want to kind of cook the anchovy paste and the Cajun seasoning together. I told my husband, he told me he can't eat spicy stuff. He's had this for years. He told me he can't eat that Cajun seasoning, so not to put any, and I told him I wouldn't. So I didn't put it on the shrimp. Put it in the pan. Is that mean? That's not mean, is it? Okay. So now we're going to get some of those flavors going. And y'all, we're going to add 1/3 of a cup of whipped cream. Not whipped cream, what am I saying? Heavy whipping cream. Don't add whipped cream, that'd be weird. Listen to me, leading y'all astray. Turn my eye back on because this is hot. Y'all heard that, didn't you? You know, I added that butter, it started to sizzle. The eye wasn't even on. This is hot. So now what we're going to do is add the heavy whipping cream. And you know what? So I want to kind of eyeball it, kind of not. I don't have much in here, but it calls for 1/3 of a cup. Yeah. So I measured it. I was going to go all the way, but I'm not going to go all the way. I did overflow it a little bit. So stick with 1/3 of a cup. And then, y'all, this is going to reduce down and make kind of like a cream sauce, but not, it's not going to be like thick like Alfredo sauce. It's just going to reduce. And what I'm going to do, so I'm just going to crumble up my bacon that I cooked, because it's not like, you know, it's not like you want this to have a ton of bacon in it. You just want it to be like a little garnish. You know, like, is that bacon grease I taste in there? Yes, it is. Oh, y'all, this is going to be so good. And when those cheese grits and the corn, oh, can y'all just imagine these flavors with me for a moment? Oh, it's going to be so good. So good. Now, I told you I didn't put salt in my grits. Cajun seasoning is very salty. So I'm actually going to taste my grits before I plate it up. Because really, I may not want to add the salt, because it may just be too salty. I've got bacon grease in here, I've got the Cajun seasoning, I've got the anchovy paste, all of that, plus the butter. Lord, y'all, I've used almost a whole stick of butter. All of it has salt in it. So I don't want it to be too salty. Nobody likes a salty hug. See how I did that? That's one thing about me, though. I'm not salty. There was a time I was going through a hard moment. I was at work and I was having a hard time. And this woman, she doesn't work there anymore. She used to. She would get kind of mean to me, get kind of sassy. So I would sit in my office and I would put on Taylor Swift. And it was that, oh, what's that album? You know, the Look What You Made Me Do, that one, and the, can't remember, you know, the one, the Kim Kardashian Receipt song, you know, all that. I would sit in my office and I would listen to Taylor Swift, and I was very salty. I was very salty. Golly, I can't remember doing that. I mean, I can. I hadn't thought about it in a while. Salty Amber in her office listening to some T Swift. What was the name of that album? It's a good album too. I don't know if y'all have heard it, but it's one, if you're going to be in a bad mood, it's definitely one to listen to. Oh yeah, In Game with Ed Sheeran. I wanna be in game. That one's on there. Gosh, what are those songs? I don't even remember. Was it like? Wasn't Red? It's gonna bother me. I'm gonna have to. I bought it. I'm gonna have to look at my phone because I did. I bought it. I was salty for a season. Very salty, y'all. So listen, you want the cream to reduce. You want it to get a little thicker, but it's still gonna be saucy. It's not, like I said, it's not going to be like Alfredo sauce or like a cheese sauce. It's just going to thicken up, and you want that. Like, you want this liquid, because we are going to pour it over top of these grits. Oh, it's going to be so good. So good. So good. I am actually going to, I'm going to get me a spoon. I'm going to get a spoon and try these grits. While I got time. Y'all. That's good, but I do want to add some salt. Yep. I want to add just a little bit. And I'm using my coarse kosher salt. Just gonna stir that in, and then I'm gonna add a little bit of butter in there. It's good though. You can taste that cheese and that corn. Now, sometimes this amount of butter is left over and I'll just add it. But there is butter in literally like every bite we're gonna take. So it's probably not the most healthy, but y'all, sometimes you just need this comfort food. You don't need to care about keto or all the, pounds you didn't lose this week. Amber, are you talking to yourself? Yes. Sometimes you just need some comfort food. Oh, y'all, look at this. See how, like, there's not a lot of bacon in there. I didn't do a bunch. I just crumbled enough to where if you taste it, you're like, is there bacon in here? And then you're like, oh yeah, there is. There's a little bacon. Like a garnish. Oh, y'all. This is so good. Now, if you wanted to, which I wouldn't suggest it, you could add a little flour in your butter before you add the cream. And it would make like, thicken it. Kind of make like a little gravy. But this cream is thickening up on its own. You don't need that. Look at this. See? I told you it's going to get thick. Oh, it's just going to be so good. Now, here's what I'm going to do. You've seen me do everything, and Lord, you've heard me do everything. All I'm going to do now, I'm going to cut this off. I'm going to stir this up a little bit more, make sure all that butter is melted, make sure all the salt is mixed in. And then when we come back, I'm going to have it plated up so y'all can see what it looks like. And then, y'all, this is what my family's eating for dinner. Okay, y'all, I'm back. And I really wanted you to see these grits. Look at this. I did sprinkle a little cheese on top. Let me find my spoon. This will work. I want y'all to see how, like, creamy these are. Do you see that? Oh, this is going to be delicious. So I did all that because I wanted you to see, like, can you see the little bits of kernels of corn in there? And then, like, kind of the little black bits, that's the bacon grease. Now, here's like the most exciting part. I've got my shrimp and my cream and my bacon, all that's kind of reduced down. See how it's not super, let me move my candle. See how it's not super liquidy? That's how you want it. Now this is where the magic is. Y'all ready? You just dump it over the top of them grits. You get all that cream and butter and bacon grease and everything you've cooked. Look at this. You just don't know the flavors this has. So you just dump that on top. I know it doesn't look pretty. And then We're gonna bam pow it with little chives just to give it a little green on top. Y'all, shrimp and grits. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, like I know I don't seem impressed. I'm very impressed. I'm getting a bowl. Cause y'all, this is gonna be so good. Now I told you this is dinner. This is dinner for my family, so I'm not gonna eat a big old bowl full. I just want to get a little bit to try. Okay, I'm gonna come over there to you. All right, I came to you. I've noticed lately when I've been editing these that you can't see what I'm eating. Like you can't, I want y'all to see this. So I'm here. Look at this. Can y'all see how creamy and cheesy? Look at that. Did y'all see that little cheese pull? I just want you to see how creamy this is. I'm gonna take a bite with the shrimp. Look at that. Okay, I'm gonna eat it. I just wanted you to see that because it's amazing. Mmm. 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 Like, when you bite into this, you've got the bite of the shrimp, but then you've got these sweet little kernels of corn. You see those little kernels? See those sweet little kernels right there? Mmm. They have a pop of sweetness. You've got the saltiness, the butteriness. It's so smooth. Like creamy grits are just, oh, they're so smooth. Mmm. 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 You can taste the smokiness from the bacon. Mmm. Y'all, this is absolutely, it's so comforting. It's so comforting. I cannot wait. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to get this on the table. It's gonna be delicious. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to make it. I want you to taste it and tell me what you think. Cause this, oh my goodness. Y'all, I'm trying to like cover up the pieces that I ate. Shrimp and grits. It's so comforting. Like, look at this. Watch me dip it out. Look at this. It's so comforting. Make it, taste it. Tell me what you think. Because y'all, you need this in your life. Have a happy day. We just ate. Like, I'm still eating. And my husband said, that wasn't too Cajun-y.